going on, Jerome's? Made it to a Saturday. It's the first of the month, so get up, get up, get up. Da, 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 da. So, it's my birthday month. Oh, I got the vapors. Welcome to June, baby. Also, so rest in peace, Bill Walton. Fantastic basketball player. Would have been an all-time great if he didn't have those injuries. There's a couple really good books that have to do with Walton. The John Wooden biography peripherally deals with Walton. There's a book by David Hammersham. I want to say it's The Breaks of the Game, which was focused on that championship Portland Trailblazers team. And also basically any Celtics book that has Walton in there. Super fascinating dude, right? But also I realized, and it's a shame that it took, I just realized this lately, but we are the Bill Walton of Vikings takes. Because, there's some football talk, but we go off on random tangents, and I feel like that's kind of our brand. Like, if Bill Walton called a basketball game, just like straight up, it's like, looking good from three, fill in the lane, and blah, 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 and all that technical stuff, boring. And if we did that, well, if you look at his little pinky down the seam of his trousers as he takes his three-step drop, no, people don't like that. Well, people do like that, but there's other better places for that. Ain't here, man. Ain't here. All right, so, again, Bill Walton, rest in power. As an announcer, like, he wasn't everyone's cup of tea, but the people who loved him, myself included, really loved him. That's right. It's exactly like the stupid channel. There we go. Also, something I love is OTAs going on. Next week, mandatory minicamp, and then another week of OTAs. Again, I'm still guessing that O'Connell is going to dismiss all the veterans after mandatory minicamp, and then it's just going to be the rookies for the final 4 days, which they need the reps. They absolutely do. But 4 quarterbacks at the same time, man. All right, so you got Mullen in the forward ground. You got Slinging Sam Darnold from right to left, as well as J.J. McCarthy, the future, as well as the Mormon Missile, Jaron Hall. Now, I do think that there is a world where they keep all 4 because, last year's quarterback depth prove that it's pretty damn important. Also, I think that with the revamped third emergency quarterback rules where they can be on the practice squad, I think that it's going to be Darnold and McCarthy on the 53. And since there's 16 players on the practice squad, you can certainly burn 2 of them to keep a quarterback in the sphere, in those meeting rooms, and be ready to go if the poop does hit the fan. I think Mullins and Jaron Hall will be on the practice squad, but we'll see. Someone who won't be on the practice squad, Jaquelin Roy Kent, second-year defensive lineman out of LSU, was used sparingly in his rookie season, except I think he's going to take a major leap. I love the work he's put in. Lower body strength was one of the calling cards from his draft reports. It's like, hey, got to add a little something, a little boost to the caboose. It looks good, man. Right, and working with new D-line coach Marcus Dixon. Also, Levi Drake Rodriguez in the background, number 50, 5-0. Try, man. But Jaquelin Roy is looking good, man. And, maybe it's the 93 aesthetic. I kind of love that, too. Now, obviously, he's not built like Jumpin' John Randall, but, I don't know, maybe Kevin Williams adjacent. Certainly take that, man. But I think that Jaquelin could do some really great things in year 2. Also, some really great things this year. Shaq Griffin coming in as a free agent, 1-year deal, just shy of $4 million. Vikings fan page, Vikings cornerback Shaq Griffin on his fit with Minnesota. Quote, I love the defensive scheme that we have. I feel that they put me in the right spot to be able to play my game how I'm used to playing it, end quote. And Flores has talked about playing a lot more man, a lot more press, a lot more aggressive, and that is Shaq Griffin's game, man. And that's where he made his bones with the Seahawks back in the day, made a Pro Bowl, and Shaq is only 28. I think that he still has some very good football left, and I think that he is going to be a guy that could thrive and grow and show in this defense. I'm really excited about that defense, man. Also excited. Come on up for the Risner. Dalton Risner is back officially, as the Vikings announced on Friday. Also, Risner was at OTAs on Friday. They released Matt Cindric, who on the 90-man rooster, who was a UDFA center out of Cal. So the Vikings remain at 15 offensive linemen, which is pretty standard on the 90-man heading into training camp. So that way you can have 3 full offensive line teams. And Risner, TBD, how he's going to fit in. Is he going to be earning one of the starting jobs? Is it going to be Brandel and Ingram? Who knows? Who knows, man? But either way, the Vikings are better with Risner back in the building. Full details of the contract aren't out yet. I imagine they'll be dropping soon. It's probably not much, and reportedly it's very incentive laden for if and when he does secure one of the starting guard spots. Speaking of, Mike Lombardi, former NFL executive and also like longtime media personality, like, nice haircut, bro. He was on McAfee's show. The question is, do the Minnesota Vikings pay Justin Jefferson? And that's a fair question. If they were able to get Malik Neighbors, they would have traded Jefferson. Now, again, this goes back to last weekend. Charlie Shooter, Walters Pioneer Press, running with the Vikings trying to trade up for Malik Neighbors. And it's just an offshoot of the Florio mouthing off on draft night. It's like, the Vikings trying to trade up to 5 for Malik Neighbors, right? And again, if Lombardi knew this, like, it would have ran. And also the fact that no other insiders picked up on it. Nah. And Alec Lewis, the Athletic. Ooh, did I miss it? There you go. Alec Lewis, the Athletic. So he had a little clap back. And not sure if this is Florio or Shooter or both. Alec Lewis, he quote tweeted this. You can say you can just say anything in this media environment, and no matter who you are, someone will believe it and give it life, and there will be no repercussions for being totally wrong. What a time. All right, so Alec Lewis, respect, Big J journalist. And again, I feel like the inclusion of the whole Neighbors tidbit in the Charlie Walters piece was a throwaway thing in like sort of a mixed bag column. Like it was a Timberwolves column, right? So I think it's a shot at that, as well as Florio just sort of spouting off things on draft night. It's not a good look. Like, what percent chance do I say that the Vikings were actually interested in trading out from Malik Neighbors and trading Justin Jefferson? 0.00000%. That's all, man. Hashtag math. That's right, man. Also, a guy who probably didn't do a lot of math. Gable Stevenson, Adam Schefter, go. Gable Stevenson, an Olympic gold medalist and one of the most dominant college wrestlers in NCAA history, he a gopher, is signing with the Buffalo Bills per his agent Carter Chow. I'm guessing Carter Chow is, Stevenson now will try, or I don't know. I mean, because Chow's like an Asian name, right? Because I just remember Norm Chow, who was the OC of the Pete Carroll Trojans. And then I think Norm Chow was the OC of the Tennessee Titans for like 1 year. And he was head coach of Hawaii for, doesn't matter. Stevenson will now try to join Bob Hayes as the only athlete to win a Super Bowl ring and an Olympic gold medal. Now, wrestlers trying to convert to the NFL, like it's a tale as old as time. Of course, the Vikings. So the Vikings had Roman Reigns. They also had Matt Mitrione, the UFC fighter. And, of course, Brock Lesnar. All right, so, Brock Lesnar looks like a Viking. Like, Brock Lesnar looks like every caricature, I'm really good at talking, of a Viking. But, so Lesnar was in camp with the Vikings 1 year, and he wasn't very good, right? He was just sort of all over the place, didn't really play with good leverage, and there is a difference between pro wrestling / mixed martial arts, muscles, and everything else. Also, Lesnar's career in the UFC, like, basically he just beat the piss out of people. That's really what it is, man. And yeah, he was a decorated wrestler, and wrestling certainly is one of the more dominant aspects of MMA. But basically, like, when we beat Frank Mir the first time, basically just pinned Mir down and just hit him with those lunchbox fists. And then the second time around, Mir just did the damn jiu-jitsu stuff on him and he's good to go. And also, what was the one where Lesnar got a liver shot? The name frickin' escapes me. He's built like an Adonis. He's from the Netherlands. He ate horse all the time. I don't remember. I don't know why I know all these things. But yeah, Lesnar, it was just a sideshow. Also, so I forget who was relaying this. I want to say it was one of the, maybe Mark Rosen, like maybe one of the K-Fan guys, but it was a local news guy. So this is before like the internet was the internet, and you could send video like Dropbox, whatever. But back when the Vikings still had joint practices with the Chiefs at River Falls, because yes, the Kansas City Chiefs, for whatever god awful reason, had their training camp at UW River Falls. The So the Vikings and the Chiefs, like Brock Lesnar got into it. Like there was a brawl, there was a fight, and it wasn't even WWE. Like it was an actual fight, and like one of the camera crews had video of it. Now they couldn't just like send, like they couldn't tweet it either, so they had to send someone like literally just drive back to the Twin Cities to get it on the news. It's funny, man. Also. So this is a Mark Rosen story. So I believe the Miracle on Ice, Lake Placid, New York. So again, no internet, no nothing, right? The way that they would get video back and forth was they would actually fly someone from the Twin Cities to Lake Placid or Buffalo or whatever the closest airport is. Is that wild? Is that crazy, man? Also, so you could smoke on planes until 1998 on certain airlines, so I came over in 86. Yeah. The long flight, from South Korea. And I'm guessing like a bunch of those South Korean businessmen were just like smoking the entire time. It was great. Also, long story longer. So I've always disliked orange juice. Right? It's just never really been my thing. And apparently, I got a reason why. So on the flight, me being like a 1-year-old kid, and the handler, for lack of a better term, like my babysitter with the adoption agency, I'm sure they're just trying to shut me up because my ears, I'm sure, were popping, and I'm just like, meh, and stuff. And apparently what got me shut up was orange juice, right? Because it's sweet and whatever. But apparently on like the long ass flight, they pumped me full of so much orange juice that my body just like rejected it. Later in life. I don't know what it is, man, but I don't know, like it's not like I'm physically repulsed, but it's not a thing. The only beverage that physically repulses me is the liqueur Aftershock. Bad times. That's all. What were we talking? Oh, Brock Lesnar. Anyways, yeah, that's Brock Lesnar. Also, so a lot of people were confused this offseason. Well, 2 off seasons in a row when Lions OC Ben Johnson, who's the cat's ass, blah, 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 Lions offense, blah, 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 didn't take a head coaching job, but he explained his rationale. Ari Mario of My Sports Update. Lions OC Ben Johnson explained why he stayed in Detroit instead of taking a head coaching position. Johnson mentioned that of the 8 openings this offseason, 5 of those hires will likely be gone in the next 3 years. He wants to be sure he can secure a second contract as a head coach, and his situation in Detroit is too good to leave for just any job. A very honest answer. And Johnson was tied most closely to the Commander's job, Washington Commies. And, I mean, the Commies job, had to be kind of attractive because new ownership, new executives, like Daniel Snyder and company were gone. They had the number 2 overall pick turned to Jane Daniels, but, they're still a train wreck. It still is what it is. But basically Ben Johnson saying he's scared. And I don't know what he's going to be waiting for, man. It's not like good teams generally fire coaches. Right, good teams with stable ownership and good cap space and a good roster and a good quarterback. They're just or is he waiting for like Andy Reid to retire? Like, I'm in, baby. Hey, Patrick Mahomes, mama, I can change him. But my prediction is, so the Lions will be whatever this year. I think the Bears are going to be a disaster. I think Eberflus is going to get his ass fired, and I think Ben Johnson just like traipse on over to Chi-Town and just like, oh, Caleb Williams, oh. Weapons all over the place. Oh, it works out. Because Ben Johnson believes in loyalty, but if he finds another place that values loyalty higher, he will go to that place and be loyal. Something like that. Lastly, so Schefter, the pride of Eastern Illinois. Well, no, Schefter's a Michigan man, but Eastern Illinois. So this is interesting. Former Eastern Illinois University quarterback Sean Payton, Mike Shanahan, Tony Romo, and Jimmy Garoppolo are returning to their alma mater this weekend for an Evening with Champions fundraiser benefiting Eastern Illinois University. Now, there's a couple of things here. For a small-ass random school, that's a lot of firepower, right? And Shanahan was an OG quarterback, had a lot of the school records before he got into coaching. A lot of those records were broken by stupid-ass Sean Payton, who, by the way, stupid-ass Sean Payton became a stupid-ass scab quarterback in the 87 strike. He was the Bears quarterback. Didn't quite work out. And then you got Tony Romo, UDFA. I want to say 06. Coming out of Eastern Illinois. And he landed with the Cowboys because of stupid-ass Sean Payton and connection with Eastern Illinois. And then Jimmy Garoppolo, second-rounder 2014, won a couple rings with the Patriots. Now, it's interesting, Evening with Champions. So Tony Romo, Zero goose egg D'Angelo Russell Super Bowl wins. Jimmy Garoppolo would have had one, except Jimmy Garoppolo that Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And no, I don't count his backup quarterback rings. I don't. Stupid ass Sean Payton has zero goose egg D'Angelo Russell because his has an asterisk by it, so it does not count. Shanahan's got 2. And also, I think he's got a couple as an assistant with the Niners because he was the OC of the 94 Niners Super Bowl win over the Chargers where Steve Young threw 6 touchdowns. Just ridiculous. Like Shanahan was just flexing, man. And they got the Denver job, and then they won a couple more rings, mainly because of Gary Kubiak. But anyways, that's it. Evening with Champions, my ass. But that's it. Vikings, blah, 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 news dump, Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull, production value.